Hey, this is Jennifer Welch with Pasco Happenings, and I'm here today with Bryant Johnson, who's actually a former Olympic athlete, and I'm so excited to talk to you today, Bryant.
Thank you, it's good to be here.
Thanks. Now, Bryant is going to tell us a little bit about his Olympic experience, and then you're also going to share with us later a little bit about what's happening very soon, a special Olympic promotional event. But Bryant, first I want to ask you a few questions about the Olympics. Tell me what sport you were in.
My sport is team handball, and you should feel privileged because I usually make people guess. And I get rowing, I get basketball, I get track. My sport's team handball. Unfortunately, team handball is not very well known in the U.S., but it's one of the largest sports in the world.
Really?
It's the second or third largest sport in the world. It's been on the Olympic program since 1972, although it was a demonstration sport in the 1936 Olympic Games. So it's been around a long time.
That is fantastic. Yeah, I did have a little bird told me that you played handball, so I had the inside scoop.
Okay, that works.
How did you get into handball?
It was an accident. I had no idea.
That's a good one, though, right?
It's turned out pretty well, actually, yes. I played basketball college, and I was in school finishing, trying to graduate after I completed my eligibility, and I was invited to train at a club team in school.
Yes.
And I went to school at the Ohio State University. We had a club team, so I started playing club handball, and it snowballed. I was invited to a tournament. I made an all-star team. I was invited to another tournament. Then I realized what the sport had to offer, and I stuck with it and pursued the Olympics and chased the Olympic rings for about 8 years, 9 years, and it became a major part of my life.
What was the most exciting part to you about the Olympic experience?
Oh, that's hard to pick out.
Everything.
It is. It's such an amazing journey from start to finish. For many athletes, it's your time on the podium. In handball, we didn't win a medal in the Olympic Games, so I didn't have that experience.
Okay.
But I had two very, very intense experiences. One was the selection process. When the team was selected and I was actually told I made the Olympic team, that was otherworldly. The other favorite, most intense moment I think that I would talk about is opening ceremony in the Olympic Games. If you can imagine being on the field in the stadium with 110,000 people in the stands, 10,000 people on the field, it was really, really a special moment. And to share it with my father, who was with us in Seoul, South Korea. So he's up in the balcony of the stadium. And long story short, as the evening went on, we found out where the parents were for the U.S. team, what section of the stadium. And then someone said, well, the handball parents are in this specific section of the stadium. So once again, there's 110,000 people way down the field. And so I started telling my handball teammates, you know, our parents are up in that section over there somewhere. And after telling a few people that, one person commented when I pointed, he said, you mean up there where that guy is doing this?
Oh my goodness.
And it turns out my father saw me on the field, and he was mimicking me. So when I pointed, he pointed.
And so you were actually able to see him?
Exactly. And I didn't think that was him, and I looked, and I put my hands on my hips, and I looked, and then up in the stands, he put his hands on his hips.
That's awesome.
That's Dad. So in the middle of all of this, you know, I had that connection to be able to share that moment with my father. So by far, that was the most of the many special Olympic memories that I had.
That is fabulous. Now, you said it was the Seoul Olympics that you were a part of. Do you still play handball today? Not
really. I play a little bit. I coach, I teach. I'm trying to preserve what's left of my joints and my muscles and my bones.
I can only imagine.
Handball's pretty intense. It's a young person's sport. Run, jump, catch, throw, and some collisions and contact. And, so my days of beating up and getting beat up are over, but I like to introduce the sport. I teach kids in a non-contact way. So I'm still involved with the sport, but I don't play at that level anymore.
Oh, wow. I am just so honored to get to talk to you about this and just have the privilege of meeting a former Olympic athlete. So thank you so much, Bryant, for sharing with me.
Thank you. My pleasure. It's very good to be here with you.
Thanks, and I know Jim wants to ask you a little bit about the event that's coming up soon. So let me have you talk to Jim for a few minutes too.
Okay.
All right. Hey, Bryant, thanks again for having us out here today.
Great to be here. Thank you.
You're welcome. I wanted to talk to you. You've got a big event coming up Saturday June the 2nd.
Yep.
Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Absolutely. We have the Walk to London 2012 in support of the 2012 Olympic Games coming up in London later this summer. And the basic idea is that we took the mileage from Los Angeles to London, and we divided that mileage up among all of our Olympian chapters across the country, and they're each having walkathons. Tampa's walkathon is on June 2nd. We're hosting it at the University of Tampa.
All right.
We'll begin and end at Pepin Stadium on campus, and we'll walk a loop within campus. And following the walk, we'll have sport demonstrations. We've invited lacrosse, soccer, rowing, wheelchair basketball, beach volleyball, team handball, the greatest sport in the world.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Possibly fencing and table tennis. We're going to have a bunch of sports demonstrating, and they'll be interactive, so the participants will have a chance to participate in these sports, learn from some experts. They'll have a chance to meet some Olympians, maybe get some pictures taken, sign some autographs, and be a part of the U.S. Olympians Association's effort to support the 2012 Games in London.
All right, that's fantastic. Speaking of the Olympics, I'm holding something very special in my hand right here. Can you tell me about this?
Absolutely. This is one of my prized possessions. This is an actual torch from the 1996 Games in Atlanta. As you can see, I was torchbearer number 10. This is the actual torch. Lots of imagery. It's designed to resemble the architecture in Greece, as we know that 1896 Games were the first of the modern Olympic Games. The wood handle is made from Georgia pecan, and then the reeds all represent the different host cities that hosted the Olympic Games. It's a great souvenir and it's a great experience.
That's fantastic. Listen, if you want to get out and meet Bryant Johnson, see the torch, get a good exposure to a lot of different games at Olympics, and do something special for your country, be sure to visit PascoHappenings.com. We'll have a link to Bryant's website. Walk to London, June the 2nd. Be there.